Feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise
Top 20 games that didn't win an Oscar. The Academy Award is the holy grail of acting, the dream of many who present themselves on the big screen. Unfortunately, the Academy is often very fickle, and sometimes it's hard to tell what logic or lack thereof determines the candidates. The institution's history is littered with performances that, despite being undeniably fantastic, were overlooked by the Academy, both in the nomination process and during the actual awards. Therefore, it is worth looking at some notable examples of such performances to show appreciation for those denied by the Oscars themselves. 1 of 20. Nathan Lane in The Birdcage. The Academy has a bit of a bias towards comedies, which may help explain the lack of a nomination for the very funny Birdcage, starring Robin Williams and Nathan Lane as Armand and Albert, a gay couple who start working when their son they pretend to be straight. Dating a Tory senator's daughter, Lane is especially great as Albert, whose flamboyance is only matched by his deep emotions. Lane's brilliance lies in her ability to accept Albert's ridiculousness while showing how much she loves both Armand and their son, and how hurt she is by Albert's rejection. Additionally, her performance in Drag, where she pretends to be a mother, is one of the funniest moments in 90s cinema. In the end, the film received only one nomination, a truly painful oversight. 2 of 20. Angela Lansbury in The Manchurian Candidate. The late Angela Lansbury was popular during her lifetime, though she gained particular acclaim for her portrayal of Jessica Fletcher in The Long-Running Murder, She Wrote. Arguably, her best screen performance was as the cunning, ruthless, and manipulative Eleanor Iselin in The Manchurian Candidate. It was a Lansbury part that would be overshadowed by her portrayal of her grandmother in later years, but it was still a terrifyingly intense performance and showed just how talented and versatile she has been throughout her career. Although nominated for an Academy Award, she ultimately lost to Patty Duke in The Miracle Worker. 3 out of 20. Judy Garland in A Star Is Born. Few stars in Hollywood history have shone as brightly or as tragically as Judy Garland. Aside from her wonderful turn in The Wizard of Oz, her best performance was arguably the tragic melodrama musical A Star Is Born, where she played Esther Blodgett Vicky Lester, a young actress taken under the wing of an established star. Norman Maine played by James Mason. It's a role perfectly suited to Garland, who not only has the pipes but also the acting range, and her heartbreak over Norman's struggle with addiction is palpable. However, although Garland was nominated, the Best Actress award went to Grace Kelly for Country Girl. 4 out of 20. Andrew Garfield in Tick, Tick, Boom. Most audiences are probably familiar with Andrew Garfield for his role as Spider-Man in the pair of the Amazing Spider-Man films. However, he has proven himself to be remarkably versatile, giving an admirable and soulful performance in Tick, Tick, Boom, in which he plays Jonathan Larson, the author of the original play on which the film is based. There's a richness and depth to Garfield's performance, and it's clear that he gave his all to the role. In addition, he proved to be more than capable of musical numbers, and although he was nominated for an Academy Award, he did not win. 5 out of 20. Jane Kelly in Singing in the Rain. Singin' in the Rain is, in many ways, the paradigmatic Hollywood musical, featuring a brilliant performance by Gene Kelly as Don Lockwood, the silent film star who must make the difficult transition to talkies. The film is a fascinating look at an industry grappling with the changing times, and Kelly owns the film with her megawatt smile, undeniable charisma, and unparalleled dancing ability. Amazingly, He wasn't even nominated for Best Actor even though his co-star Gene Hagen did, making him one of the most infamous actors in Academy Award history. 6 out of 20. Daniel Kaluuya in Get Out. With his first feature film, Get Out, Jordan Peele has shown that he is undoubtedly one of the most visionary and daring filmmakers of his generation. The story centers on Chris Washington, Daniel Kaluuya, a young black man whose visit to his white girlfriend's house turns deadly when it is discovered that they are secretly transplanting the brains of young African Americans into white bodies. Kaluuya gives a wonderful performance, one that allows the audience to empathize with her by understanding the horror of her situation. Although he received a nomination for Best Actor, he ultimately lost, but he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for Judas and the Black Messiah. 7 out of 20. Daniel Deadwyler Till. The murder of the boy Emmett Till remains one of the most horrifying incidents of racist violence in the history of 20th century America. Although his murder is at the center of the wrenching film Till, it is Danielle Deadwyler's performance as his mother, Mamie, that provides much of its emotional energy. Deadwyler captures Mamie's agony at her son's brutal murder, even as she captures the real woman's steely and inextinguishable desire to see justice done despite all of the gears of justice in the Jim Crow South set against her. Unfortunately, Deadwyler wasn't even nominated, even though she surely deserved to be so. 8 out of 20. Cate Blanchett in Carol. Cate Blanchett has never met a role she couldn't sink her teeth into, and Carol, the title role in Todd Haynes' richly told adaptation of Susan Highsmith's novel The Price of Salt, is no exception. Blanchett's Carol Aird is beautiful, glamorous, and desirable, but there is also a world of hurt and submerged desire, particularly given that she is a woman who loves women living in the progressive era of the 1950s. It's one of Blanchett's most achingly human and exquisitely raw performances, and she adeptly brings the original character to richly breathing life. She ultimately lost out on the award to Brie Larson for Room. 9 of 20. Glenn Close in Dangerous Liaisons. Glenn Close is one of those actresses whose career has been marked by many great performances, and yet, despite her undeniable talent, she has not won an Oscar. Although many of her roles have earned her acclaim, one of her finest was in Dangerous Liaisons, where she plays the cunning, ruthless, and manipulative Marquise Isabelle de Merteuil. She perfectly captures the personality of a woman very much enmeshed in the poisonous politics of the French court, someone who knows how to pull the strings so that people do what she wants, even if she is, as it turns out, devastated by the eventual outcome of her actions. 10 of 20. Michael B. Jordan in Creed. Michael B. Jordan is widely and rightly regarded as one of the finest actors of his generation. His undeniable charisma is very much in evidence in Creed, where he plays Adonis Creed, the son of Apollo Creed from the original series of Rocky films. Jordan brings out so many of the character's key traits, particularly his pain, but also shows his softer, gentler side. Unfortunately, the film was very nearly shut out of the Oscars, receiving only one nomination for Sylvester Stallone as Best Supporting Actor. This is a shame, especially as Jordan would go on to shine further in the two sequels. 11 of 20. Heath Ledger in Brokeback Mountain. Ang Lee's Brokeback Mountain is a remarkable cinematic achievement and a moving adaptation of Annie Proulx's beloved short story about two cowboys whose forbidden love disrupts both of their lives and sets them on a tragic course. Heath Ledger gave one of his best performances as the deeply closeted Ennis Del Mar, a man so wedded to ideas of Old West masculinity that he finds it difficult to get emotionally close to anyone. Whether his wife or his beloved Jack. There's so much pain and vulnerability in Ledger's performance. Like many others, he was nominated for Best Actor but ultimately lost to Philip Seymour Hoffman for Capote. 12 of 20. Joaquin Phoenix in Gladiator. Ridley Scott's Gladiator helped return the ancient world epic to prominence in the pop culture imagination. Although Russell Crowe's Maximus is the story's center, and his transformation from general to gladiator to freedom fighter is remarkably moving, Joaquin Phoenix's deranged and petulant Emperor Commodus frequently steals the show. Phoenix is perfectly cast in the role, and he ably gives the viewer a villain it is quite easy to hate, someone whose desperate desire for his father's love and misplaced affection for his sister makes him as monstrous as politically corrupt. Although nominated for Best Supporting Actor, he ultimately did not take home the prize. 13 of 20. Ian McKellen in The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King.
I wish when I first saw you, I knew this. When I'm with you, I feel so useless. I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded.
Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King is tied with Ben-Hur and Titanic for the most Oscar wins, but, surprisingly, there were no actor wins or nominations. This is truly a shame, as Ian McKellen is masterful as Gandalf the White, who plays a key role in the efforts to defeat the Dark Lord Sauron. McKellen has the potent ability to show Gandalf as incredibly strong yet unafraid to show a softer side, particularly to the Hobbit Pippin, and his interpretation of the character is arguably the definitive one. Unfortunately, the Academy overlooked his magnificent performance in one of their more grievous oversights. 14 of 20. Bette Davis in All About Eve. Bette Davis was unquestionably one of the greatest actresses of her generation. She was known for her incredible work ethic and ability and willingness to play unlikable characters. Margot Channing of All About Eve is one of her most indelible creations, a fading Broadway actress who takes Anne Baxter's Eve under her wing, only to discover she has her eyes on Margot's fame. Davis' ability to deliver a withering remark or a zingy one-liner is second to none, but, like Gloria Swanson of Sunset Boulevard, she lost out on the Academy Award to Judy Holliday for Born Yesterday. 15 of 20. Gloria Swanson in Sunset Boulevard. Even though she had been one of Hollywood's biggest stars during the silent era, by the time Sunset Boulevard was released in 1950, Gloria Swanson had largely moved to success in other venues. Her role as Norma Desmond, the faded movie star who becomes enamored of William Holden's struggling screenwriter Joe Gillis, catapulted her back into the spotlight, and it's easy to see why. It's a magnificently tragic performance. Norma refuses to recognize her own obsolescence and is determined to reclaim her old fame, no matter the cost. Despite the accolades and the fact that she was nominated for Best Actress, she lost out to Judy Holliday for Born Yesterday. 16 of 20. Rosamund Pike in Gone Girl. Rosamund Pike has slowly built a reputation as a meticulous actress capable of portraying characters of steely determination and sometimes deeply questionable morals. This is particularly true in David Fincher's Gone Girl, in which she portrays Amy Elliott Dunn, a woman capable of monstrous deception. It was the role that really catapulted Pike into the popular consciousness, and her skills as an actress are on marked display. She makes her compelling and riveting, even as the audience is horrified at how manipulative and monstrous she really is. It's thus no wonder she was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actress, even if she didn't win. 17 of 20. Denzel Washington in Malcolm X. Denzel Washington is one of the most respected actors of his generation. Although he has never given a bad performance, his turn as Malcolm X in Spike Lee's film of the same name is truly inspired. He brings this remarkable man to fiery life, to such a degree that he seems to simply be Malcolm X. He was ultimately nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor, one of 2 noms the film received, his second after his win for Glory. He wouldn't win another Oscar until he won for Training Day in 2001. However, he would receive several other nominations. 18 of 20. Whoopi Goldberg in The Color Purple. Alice Walker's epistolary novel is the inspiration for Steven Spielberg's film The Color Purple, which stars Whoopi Goldberg as Celie, a young black woman who endures decades of abuse at her husband's hands before finally finding her inner strength. It was Goldberg's breakout role and the one that established her as a bona fide movie star, and she superbly captures Celie's extraordinary transformation, capturing the many shades of her character. She received justified acclaim for her role, but while nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress, she lost out to Geraldine Page for The Trip to Bountiful. 19 of 20. Marlon Brando in A Streetcar Named Desire. The plays of Tennessee Williams have been adapted for the cinema many times, but arguably, one of the very best is A Streetcar Named Desire. It perfectly captures the Southern Gothic feeling of the original play. A key part of the film's appeal is the performance of Marlon Brando as Stanley Kowalski. Brutish yet undeniably sexual, Brando is magnetic in the role, and it helped make him one of Hollywood's biggest stars. It's a small wonder that he was nominated for an Oscar, even though, unlike his co-stars Vivien Leigh, Carl Hunter, and Kim Hunter, he didn't take home the statue at the end of the night. 20 out of 20. Orson Welles in Citizen Kane. For quite a long time, Citizen Kane was regarded as the best movie ever made, and even now, it retains its powerful allure. Much of this is due to Orson Welles' direction, but it can also be attributed to his performance as the title character, Charles Foster Kane, a very thinly disguised reference to William Randolph Hearst among others. It's one of Welles' most inspired creations, as he seems to fully inhabit the life, mind, and body of this extraordinarily complicated individual. Unsurprisingly, Welles would receive an Oscar nomination for Best Actor, although he would lose out to Gary Cooper for Sergeant York, although he would share the award for Best Original Screenplay with Herman J. Mankiewicz.